Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching us today on live or on replay. Let me ask you these questions. Are you struggling with money? Do you find it difficult because money comes and then it goes easily? Do you want to understand and discover simple ways how can you stop struggling with money? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I'm very happy and I know you're on the right place because today we're talking about mindful money, how to stop struggling with money. This webinar live in YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook is brought to you by Working Moms Academy and also sponsored by The Asian Parent, the largest parent app and community in the Philippines and in Asia. So let me talk about what is this topic all about. And my question to you first, what is your money story? Let me share mine because it's kind of complicated. Well, my dad died when I was 9. And when he left us with zero money also. Well, that's another story why there was no money that was left with us. But when I was growing up, money was scarce. And I can see how much my mom is struggling doing the mathematics and computation, how to survive each day and how to survive through each week. And I mean, growing up, I didn't realize I had a lot of blocks around money. I have a lot of problems with that also. And today, I want to share and tell you how understanding about my relationship with money helped me to stop the struggle with money. And fast forward to today, I'm very happy. My mom is my mom always tells us as a joke. She said, "I'm the richest in the family." She said she has no more debt and she has some savings because of course we give her allowance every month. And today I want to share with you because every person has the right to have a lot of money, and that starts with getting the right mindset with money. That's why this topic is very very interesting, and especially for mothers. Why mothers, right? According to study, mothers are handling majority of the money in the family, and actually money is the one which binds the family, and money is also one of the core reason why a lot of people go through divorce, separation, a lot of fights between marriages. So let us talk about money now. And let me just quickly, before I bring my guest on stage, let me just quickly talk for those of you who don't know about Working Moms Academy. I am the founder of Working Moms Academy. I am Wandalyn Calupig. I am a certified public accountant and auditor by profession of 21 years. But I found my meaning and joy in training and coaching. That is why this live webinar is brought to you by Working Moms Academy, because the ultimate goal of the company is really to help moms overcome stress and burnout, especially in your finances, in your career, in your relationships, so you can succeed personally and professionally. And Working Moms Academy not only hosts this live webinar, we also have corporate programs that we are offering with over 100 courses because we are in tie-up with American Management Association, which is a 90-plus-year-old company who is a leader in the world in terms of personal development and also professional development. So today we are very excited. I know you, mother, or whoever is watching us live today or on replay, you might not be a mother, but this topic is very, very important to you. So, of course, to tell more about my story and my money story, I will share with you today what are the 3 steps that you can do so you can stop struggling with money. And before I continue with the topic, let me bring my guest on stage. First, let me introduce Margaret. Margaret is a gift from heaven, I'll say. I always believe there's a divine connection, and I was able to meet Margaret. And when I met her, I know she's the right, perfect person to be interviewed here today and join me. So, Margaret, welcome on stage, and please tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Here I am live to you from the dynamic city of Dubai. My name is Margaret Mekaat, and I'm a financial well-being coach. Now, a little bit about me. I've over the last few years, I've seen people struggle around their finances and debt, and I've had the privilege of working with a free legal aid service, and that gave me an exposure to to help people with extreme financial crisis and debt. And it really opened my eyes as well, and really got me to think about my finances. um, Being a financial well-being coach, frankly, I'm deeply rooted with on biblical principles about about managing finances, and I believe that we all are purposed to be good stewards or managers of the resources that God provides for us, so that we may live abundant lives. And financial freedom is for everyone. And with a disciplined, abundant mindset, we can be debt free, stress free, happier, and healthier as well. So, my mission personally is to empower individuals to make good money decisions for you and your families, so that you can live lives secure, not just now, um, but in the future as well, and for generations to come, and leave a wonderful legacy behind. So, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you, Margaret. That's a very beautiful introduction. I fully believe that everybody has the right to be abundant. I myself didn't understand that concept before. But I think every person have the right to be happy and to be stress free about money. That is why this topic is very important. Again, for those who are watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, this topic is about mindful money, how to stop struggling with money. And of course, I just want to also bring my other guest, another gift from heaven for me. Dottie, thank you for joining us. Let me just bring her on stage. Dottie, please introduce yourself to our viewers. Dottie, sorry, I think your microphone is on mute. Can you unmute
Hi,
it for
yes,
me?
yes.
Okay,
Hi.
you can start
Okay,
again
thank
from the beginning.
from the start. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you again for having me here. So as I said, I'm here in the Philippines. Currently, it's past 6 p.m. So good evening, everyone, and good day, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the part of the world. So as mentioned by Wanda, I'm Dottie. I'm Dottie Fuente. I'm also a financial coach. I've been in the advertising and marketing industry for the past 14 years. But in the past 5 years, I've been in the finance industry. So my mission in life is to spread financial literacy as a way of paying it forward, no? Because I started young, working young, and I was able to be blessed with to be guided in handling finances. So I believe now that I'm a mom, it's time for me to pay it forward. And like what Margaret said as well, it's rooted in what the Lord is teaching us to handle financials here in on earth, because it's something that we need to prove that we can handle something smaller in order for us to prove that we can handle something bigger in our eternity. So there, I hope I can share a lot of my learnings here to our fellow moms who are struggling with money. Again, thank you, Wanda, for having me here.
Thank you, Dottie, for that beautiful introduction. See, you can see already how much power pack our guest for today. So I'm very blessed to have them both. So before we continue the topic of mindful money, let me just have a quick introduction. What is mindful? You might be asking, we're talking about mindful money, but what does mindful mean? Well, according to Google, mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of your thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. Well, let's put it in a simplest form. It means being aware. I mean, before I wasn't aware of my money spending habits nor my money earning habits. But in 2017, I attended something called Millionaire Mindset Intensive by T. Harv Eker. It's a 3-day program that helped me understand what is my relationship with money and how is it affecting my entire life. And today we will talk about that. And what is mindful spending, you might ask? Mindful spending is about mindful, conscious spending or intentional spending about awareness of how you think, and act with money while you're spending. Well, I used to be a retail shopper, I will agree. Whenever I feel stressed, you can see me already going around looking for bargains because it gives me joy. But I realized I had the deeper pain that I had to address. That is why I was struggling to use money as a certain, a certain solution to some of my problems. But today we'll talk about how can you stop struggling not only with money but in the other areas of your life, because you might think we're talking about money, but I think money, and from my experience, is connected with everything that you are. So first, let's talk about your relationship with money. Let me bring both Margaret and Dottie on stage. Let me just read this powerful quote, because today let's talk about what are the 3 steps for you to stop struggling with money. One of the things that I learned is know your relationship with money. Initially, I was thinking relationship. I thought I only have relationship with my family, with people, but also, as what the quote said by John Avanzini, money is neither good nor bad. It simply amplifies
Sorry,
what's in the
Wanda, I
heart.
cannot hear you though.
Sorry, you cannot hear me?
I can hear you.
Dottie, can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah, I
just
can
just
hear you.
maybe the volume.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot
Okay,
hear you.
Maybe the connection.
no problem, Dottie. Will
I can hear
okay.
you. I can hear both of you.
Yeah, you can hear me, Dottie. No worries.
Yeah.
I know Dottie will get it fixed. So first let's talk about relationship with money. When I took this Miller Mind Intensive course, I never knew I had a relationship with money. And what it said in that training is that money is neither good or neither bad. It's always how you look at it. It's always what's in your heart. And I remember having this conversation with one of my friends. I asked her, "Do you want to be rich?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because rich people are greedy." And I was like, "Really?" But I was telling her, I've met a lot of millionaires also, and I've seen them with a great heart. So, what do you think? What and I was telling her, why don't you allow yourself the permission to get rich so you will have so much money to help others? And she was like, yeah, I think that's also a good idea. But see, that itself, your relationship, your thought about money is blocking it. And before I bring Dottie on, say, let me just share another quick story about one of my clients. She was, she is on a temporary position for 10 years. Imagine 10 years. And I was telling her, what's wrong? And she's like, she's already in so much pain. She's like, I want to earn more money and I'm not getting the permanent post in the company, even if I've been working for 10 years. And as a mother, I can feel that pain. And I was telling her, what is your belief about earning more money? And she was like, if I earn more money, my fear is that my husband's ego, I will step on it because I will earn more money than he has. And I was like, but do you share the money? And he's like, yeah. And I was telling him, your assumption of your husband being upset because you're earning more is your own belief. Why don't you ask your husband whether it's okay if you earn more money? And he was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So they had a conversation. At the same time, we did a clearing exercise using NLP for her to remove the block. And you know what's the best thing about it? In 3 days, she got a call from HR that her permanent position is already on the way. So if you do have, I mean, a lot of women I've worked with in terms of their career, they have a lot of success and money blocks, and it's the time to really understand your relationship. So, Dottie, let me just remove Margaret and put her back on stage to fix her audio problem. So, Dottie,
Hang
maybe you
on.
can share.
Wanda,
You
can
can
you
hear
hear
me
me?
now? Yeah,
I
I
can
can
hear you
hear
now.
you.
Thank you so much.
All
Sorry, I
right.
missed out on all that.
No, it's okay. It's perfect. It's perfect. No worries. So let's I just spoke about my relationship with money and how my
Right.
clients, I was able to help them. So maybe it's time, let's hear Dottie's story first, and would love to hear Margaret about your personal story and your story about your clients in terms of their relationship with money. Yes, Dottie.
Yes, agree, agree. I think that's a good story, let me just share my story, just my personal experience and learning about money, because as I said, I started young. I actually started working at 19. And I'm the breadwinner. So it's just me and my mom because my dad, my it's another long story. So I'll save it for another episode. But yeah, since I am the breadwinner, I used to just really be thrifty. My friends really in Filipino they call it kuripot, so they call me that because I'm really thrifty when it comes to money. But there was a time that I learned the hard way because I started using a credit card. So when I started using a credit card, of course, like you, as I think everyone who had credit card really experienced swiping there, swiping here. So it was fun, right? Until you see your bill. So I think it was during that time when I realized that I was no longer in control of my money. So I started telling myself it's not you because you I used to be really in control of my money because I learned it from my mom. I always keep it in mind to work to live in a meaningful way, and then work to live, and not live to work. So I wanted to bring back that old thinking. So I just lived by it, and then I started to be in control again by really paying off that debt. So I learned it the hard way. I paid interest and all. So but then I finished it. So I'm debt free. And then now at the age of 30 something 30 something, I've already made two houses of our own. One is when I was still single. Now another one when I'm married. Now that I'm married, and then I am able to put up small businesses, and since I'm also in financial industry, so I am able to pay it forward and help other people also through my experience. So I think that in that way, just like what you said, we really have to have a relationship with money. Don't let money take over us. Don't let money take over our lives, because it's not the way we are destined to, and we are in a system that lives to be controlled by money, right? It's just something tangible. We should be on top of it. Yeah.
That's very good. Thank you for sharing, Dottie. I think I know there are a lot of similarities. First, I also am the breadwinner of the family. I started working at 16. Oh my God. I remember, my
Wow.
first salary was 11.375 pesos. Margaret, that's 0.23 cents.
Wow.
0.23 cents per hour.
Wow.
And my first job was I was a crew in KFC. I had to work by choice because to finance my education. But I think, when I started to earn money in my 20s, when I started working, I know how much my mom suffered. So whatever she wants, I'll buy it. So and then the credit card came. So it's like,
Yeah.
and actually I went to Dubai for that reason alone. I accumulated debt of almost $10,000 at the age of 26 because first I bought my mom a house. We've been renting a house for 26 years, and I was like, I think my mom deserves to have a house of her own. And also I was very happy swiping the credit card, but also there was a lot of fear, and I was like, I will pay that house in 10, 20 years. And I was like, I don't think I can live with that. So that made me decide to go to Dubai, find a better opportunity. And I was able to pay that debt in 1 year when I came here. So I think, you know, as Dottie said, your relationship with money is purely yours. How you spend it is not right or wrong for you, but how is it affecting you is something you have to decide, because you also have every power. I learned, to pay every debt that you wanted. It's a conscious choice to be debt free as well. So Margaret, would love to hear your story about the relationship with money.
Yeah, so I've been on the other side where actually I've been getting a lot of clients who come to me for who are in serious debt crisis. And as I said, we are a free legal aid group, and I'm a part of that. And actually, that's how my journey started, where I met these young men and women who are so crushed in debt that in this one specific person who really touched my heart, and who kind of it's a story that I'd like to share, is about this young woman. And she was just going by. She was a single mother, doing well in life, handling her finances, but suddenly she had and an emergency, you could say, like her mom basically fell very ill, and she didn't have money that was kind of, out there for meeting that need. So the only thing that she had to do was to that she felt at the time that she could do was take that money from her credit card, and that started building up and building up, because the interest is so high. Her situation became so bad that she came to the point where she felt she should end her life. And
Oh.
it was her friend who brought her and said, well, you've tried everything, just let's go and see if you can get some help. And that at that point that I met her, she was at her extreme low. She's given up on everything. She has no she can't see the way ahead. There's no light at the end of the tunnel that she can see. Um, and that's when we kind of worked with her. I worked with her with helping her first to to actually see that this is just a temporary situation. She can definitely come out of it, but she would need to put in some effort and work. And if she's willing to work and put in those disciplinary actions in place, if she's continuous actions, she can definitely get out of it. So it's all started with the fear of, how do I talk to the banks, because she's been neglecting the bank. She's running away from the bank calls. She doesn't want to get in touch with them. She's afraid to talk to them. And so it was first starting right from there, to building herself up to say, what, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to pay my debts. So I'm here right now. I'm not running away anymore. So that also was helpful, because the banks were then, they were like, okay, so she's now not running away. She's not avoiding our calls. It was like a plus. It was like, and that gave her that confidence. Okay, so I can do it. And then of course we had to look at all her budget. We had to see, she never did a budget before. So there were a lot of things that needed to be tightened and put in place. And spending is one part, that's the most critical part, because if you don't track your expenses, that's where you don't know where your money is leaking. So it's like, imagine a vase which has got holes below, and you're putting water and it just doesn't stay, because there are so many cracks, and you don't know what those cracks are. So finding out what those cracks are, trying and kind of putting that, stopping those leaks from taking place. And that's what mindful spending is about. So it's, basically it's like, you realizing for yourself, like, um, is this spending really helping me, or is it hurting me, or is it just a very neutral feeling? Because money is emotional. So what is it, that emotion that you have with money? Is it, do you feel it's helping, it's hurting, or is it neutral? Or is it that you're just using it as a retail therapy, to keep yourself away from facing a problem that is much more deeper inside you? So you use spending as a way to get away from that. So it's well, to get back to the story of this young lady, after months and months of interaction with the bank, and setting those up, converting them into loans, and restructuring those her credit cards, and all those things, she was eventually out of debt. And not only was she out of debt, she now had control on her finances. She was spending and tracking her finances as well. And the most beautiful thing that happened was, the day after, she gave me a call one day early morning, and we normally used to have our calls in the evening. So I was quite surprised, why is she calling me? And she called me and she said, I really wanted to share something, Margaret. And I said, yeah, sure, tell me, what is it? And she said, for the first time in all these months, after all these months, I actually slept like a baby, with no frightful thoughts, with no fears that the bank is going to call me. It was like a movie that was going in my head every day, and this fiery thoughts of what's going to happen. And she's saying, I actually slept like a baby. And it was so wonderful. She was crying, I was crying, and it was such a wonderful moment. And that's what kind of inspires you to go on every day, to do what you're doing, and just reaching out to as many people as possible to help them, with their journey, so that they can have a good night's sleep. So that's what it's all about.
That's a very beautiful sharing, Margaret. I think I definitely agree with you. Your debts is the one that can keep you awake at the night, because it haunts you, right? Because
Yeah.
you've spent something. And I definitely agree with you. Every person is one decision away from becoming debt free. And that is when you face the situation, which actually moves us to the next topic. We spoke about knowing your relationship with the money. Second is about knowing your spending habits. Okay, let me
Yes.
share my story first. I mean, I wasn't aware that I was spending based on my needs, which I am not even aware of. I mean, when I experienced burnout in 2014, I was always sick, I was empty, I was unhappy, and I don't even know what's wrong with me. So, for me to just really satisfy myself, I'll just go for retail shopping. So, every weekend, I'll just go buy something for myself. But, that happiness actually is just temporary. But what I learned also, my burnout and my stress is because I am not, they said one of the purpose of life is to really serve others. And I wasn't even doing that. I was living in my own world, work, office, that's it. That's my life. But then when I started to understand that, wait, I think I have something to share. When I started to share everything that I'm learning for the many trainings I did, that is when I started to see the shift in other people's lives also. And I was like, wow, this training and coaching is something that gives me so much joy that I think I will do until my old age. And, I think if and that also stopped my retail shopping, imagine. So if you're into retail shopping, find really that something that will spark joy within, because I'm telling you, retail shopping is a temporary cure to something that's missing in your life. This is from my experience and from every person I work with. I mean, one of my friends, he's like buying into so many socks, and I was telling him, so what's our hang up with buying so many socks? He said, Wanda, when I was small, I don't have any socks. Like, I will always have the loose ones because we never had money. And I always feel, when I feel sad, the way to comfort myself is to buy a lot of socks. One of my friends is already like 40 plus, but she keeps on buying herself a lot of toys, but she doesn't open the toys. So I was like, okay, let us understand, why are you buying so many toys? She said, when I was young, I never had toys because we don't have money. So now that I have the money, I want to give myself the gift. It doesn't make it right or wrong for you. But my only thing is that how is this spending affecting you? Because like my friend who's buying so many toys has affected her financials already, which brought us to the next topic of know your spending habits. Because as an accountant, it's very simple, right? If you want to be debt free, if you want to be stress free from money, earn more and spend less, right? That's simple. But a lot of people are not doing that for the reason that your spending habits are not fit into your earning, and it's not really matching, your lifestyle is not matching to how much your income also. So let's hear from Dottie. What's your experience, I mean, personally and working with your clients in terms of their spending habits, and how is it harming them in terms of, their lack of money?
Yeah, actually, I think I can share one of the experiences of my client. She's a breadwinner in the family, and but it's she's really struggling because the inflow is small, and then of course being a mother and all, having those responsibilities. As a mother, we do the budgeting, right? So it's really getting hard for her to budget the salary of her husband. So I taught her about listing everything, having an inflow and an outflow monitoring. So that's what we did. And as a few months went by, she was able to somehow identify what part of her spending are really not important in the family. So she was able to identify some non-negotiables and some wants that she can already park and she can let go of. So after several months, she was really thankful because she was able to start her savings for the family, and she was actually able to start having insurance for herself, for her husband, and slowly starting to insure her and start savings for their children as well. So it's really fulfilling to see people, getting that stability in terms of handling their money, because it seems like they're really hopeless. It seems like they feel like their stream of income is so little. But actually, you're right, it's not about the amount of income that goes into your household, it's also about your spending. If your outflow is greater than your inflow, then definitely there's no balance in the household, right? So we need to fix your outflow and inflow. So that's actually one of the that's actually one of the solutions that I always tell my clients. So fixing your inflow, listing everything, no matter how small, because sometimes you tend to forget that, oh, I spent a few hundreds on this, but it accumulates to a few thousands. You don't monitor. If you don't focus on your spending, if you don't take control of your spending, you will lose sight of the things that you spend for, that you seem to not spending a lot, but if it accumulates, it's really a lot if you if you compute for it. So that's something that's really fulfilling for me, to be able to help that client of mine and slowly being able to have savings for her family. And until now, she's really happy that she's continuously paying for their insurance, their savings, their investments. Yeah.
That's very good sharing. Thanks, Dottie. See, I'll say you are one pen and paper away from becoming debt free and stopping your struggle with money. First, get a pen and a paper and write down how much are you earning. Okay, so
Right.
earning, it's very easy. It doesn't require a high level of knowledge. How much are you
Math.
earning?
Math. Yeah. It's
Mathematics.
not really
How
not a
it's
complicated
very
math.
yeah, it's not a complex. How much are you earning? How much are you spending? And from your
Yes.
spending, as Dottie said, know what are your needs and what are your wants. Because actually, if you look at it, majority of your spending is most of it's majority of your wants, not really your needs. But you have a lot of needs, which might be emotional needs, but you just channel it through spending. So write it down and also open your cabinet and look at your house. What is the number of things that you have the most? Is it shoes? Is it clothes? Is it
Is
something
it
else?
bags?
Because is it bags? Yeah. On the next, on the next topic, we'll talk about how can you heal it. But let's hear again from Margaret. Margaret, what is your sharing about this topic of
So
knowing your spending habits?
yeah, so I think if at all I'm to give an example, let's talk about, say, somebody who's you go to work, and you always, in the first thing in the morning, you get yourself a big latte and maybe a cinnamon roll, and you go to work, okay, and you do this every single day. So what happens is that it becomes a habit, right? So now, without you even knowing it consciously, you are doing this whether you want it or not. It's just become a habit, and you do it because now you got other things in your mind. You buy that roll, you buy that coffee, and you go away with it. So not only are you consuming these hundreds of calories, which is really not good for you, but it's also your spending, because you're spending on things that are not adding to your overall happiness or to your health. Yeah, it's just giving you that temporary satisfaction, that sweet craving. Basically, the first bite or second bite, it goes away. So rather than doing something like that, it's about being mindful about what am I buying, and how is it helping me. So wouldn't I rather probably look at the option of probably get some go to sleep earlier, so that I get up more having more energy, or I go and exercise first thing in the morning, so I get my blood pumped up. Now both of these things will give you more energy, and it won't cost you even a single you're not paying anything for it. And the consequences are that you're not putting on weight, so it's taking care of that. So it's replacing uh, your expenses on things that you're spending with good choices. So again, it comes down to choices. So mindful spending is making those right choices. So it's those healthy choices, or those choices that are in line with your goals, with your values, and which matter to you. So that spending needs to be justified in that way. And just adding to what Dottie was saying about jotting down what you spend, it's also at the same time that you do jot that down, and you keep it. You probably, it helps you if you're a tech savvy person. Download one of the apps that makes it easy for you. You go it on Excel and do it on an Excel sheet, or you download one of the softwares, whatever it is that can kind of get you into that kind of to take action. Yeah. And another thing that you got to also remember always is this, that always remember that you are a manager of your money. You're not the owner. Okay. You are a manager. You're managing that wealth and that money that's come to you. So am I being a good steward? Am I being proper in this expense? So just making those choices will just take you a long way forward. That's what I believe. Have you lost Wanda in the from the call?
Yeah, I think she's there. She's back.
I think she's back.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Think
agree so
everything
much
that
with what
you're
you said,
saying.
Margaret. It's really, we're not owners of our money. We're just
We're not
managers. We're
owners
just
of our
stewards.
money. Yeah. And I'll just add one more thing, just a tip, okay, for the listener. So if you are also, remember that when you go out spending, so one of the ways that you can kind of keep yourself in check is there's an acronym TEMPO, TEMPO. So T stands for the time of day, okay? So when you're going shopping, you make sure that you go at a time when you have more energy. Shop at a time when you have more energy, okay, not when you are stressed or pressured, because what happens is that you won't make wise decisions when you're stressed and you're pressured. You will go and just pick up anything. The second thing is in that is the environment. So what is causing you to spend? Yeah, is it that when you go to probably a fair or a mall or what is that place that's causing you to go and spend? So when you go to those places, be conscious that these are my weaknesses, so I will be careful in what I'm picking up, or if better, keep your credit card at home and go to those places. Another thing is the next one is mood. What are those moods that are triggering your spending? Is it that you're happy, you're sad, you're distracted, you're tired, you're hungry? So you find a time to shop when your moods will not cause you to impulse buy. And the next one is place. Again, the place is it a specific city, or maybe it is going to a specific your favorite store or something like that, and you just feel you have to buy something no matter what. So if you know that that's what triggers it, again, stay away from spending or keep your card at home, and don't go with it. And the last one, of course, is occasion. Is there any kind of holidays or birthdays or traditions that make you impulse buy? So is it when you go out with a certain friend or with a family member that you have this unplanned spending? In case you do that, then remember that you've got to allocate that as a specific in your budget. You allocate it specially as an expense, irregular expense. So you've already kind of allocated that money, and you're going to spend only that money for that purpose. So that helps you in the long run, because we do have a lot of irregular spending which just suddenly comes up, and you're not ready for it. Someone's having a baby shower or something like that. You don't plan those things in advance. Someone's going away, leaving work, you want to give them a gift. So it's all those expenses. Have that already covered in your budget, and stick to that budget, stick to that amount. Probably you keep it in cash, so that okay, I just have X amount that I'm going to spend for this and nothing more.
Wow, that's a very good tip. I hope I summarized. I was like, okay, tempo. I hope I
Tempo.
type it correctly.
Let's just hide
Okay.
tempo is time,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
environment,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
mood,
Mind,
Uh-huh.
mood,
place,
place,
Uh-huh.
occasion.
occasion.
I got it
Got
right.
it.
So for those of you
Got it
who are
too.
what got it. For those of you who are watching us live or replay, this is all about mindful spending, how to stop struggling with money. We spoke a lot of things already. You can watch the replay, but we spoke about the relationship with money. We spoke about mindful spending habits. And Margaret just shared about tempo. It's a very simple technique of understanding and being aware of the time, the environment, the mood, the place, and the occasion that leads you to impulse buying. That's actually a very good tip. For me, there's a very simple technique. They said you ask yourself three questions before you buy. Do I need it? Do I want it? Is it God's will? So the last one is very difficult to answer. Is it God's will? So if you don't get yes for everything, then you don't buy it. So, but also I learned from one of my mentors, Christy Marie Sheldon. She's an intuitive coach, and she said, you ask your body, is this does spending this amount of money can create more money for you? Because if it's a yes, then maybe it's a good buy, but it's a no, then it's not. So,
Yeah.
okay, we had a lot of tips already. Let's move to the last but the most important topic. So, we spoke about knowing your relationship, knowing your spending habits, and now it's about healing, right? The topic is know how to heal yourself. Because I mean, I already shared a lot of my story about how I was able to heal my relationship with money. And I think the best learning for me here is that if you always take action inspired with love, that is where you will also not get it wrong. So, I mean, I used to buy my kids a lot of toys, a lot of things, and I realized, oh, I was buying it because when I was small, I didn't have that. And I was, I was coming from a place of, you know, fulfilling the unmet need of my younger child. And I was like, but they don't need it anyway. So what I started doing is I started to give my kids also a budget. I want them to start understanding money at a very young age. So they have it will be 100 dirhams each every month. So in pesos, like 1,300 per month. So I give them that money for them to spend whatever they want. So it doesn't make it right or wrong, but they always reflect on, I think I spent so much on this, or I think it. And last year was the first year that we really started continuously, and we are continuing it this year. And I think what they learned is that they want to have some savings so that when occasions come, they are not stressed in terms of loaning money from me. Let's say if their dad's birthday is coming, they are loaning money from me also. And I was like, it's okay to, get an advance from mommy, but let us understand how you're spending, right? So from January, they started to save 10 to 20% of their money. And they said, mommy, when there's a special occasion, I'll either buy it for a family member or I'll buy myself a gift on Christmas. So that's the logic. So I think to heal yourself, first always understand, why do I want to spend and why do I want to save? Is it an action inspired by fear? Because if it's fear, as they said, whatever you plant is the one that you will harvest later. So, and I realized also at some point in time, I got stuck with my finances. Because as a breadwinner in the family, I was acting always out of fear to make sure that everybody in the family, gets supported and gets the money that's required. But at some point, I think I said I need to forgive those people who did not, support my mom, or I want to forgive those family members who forgot us. So I was like, I need to earn money not because I need to prove something, but I need to earn money so I can be a blessing continuously to my family and to those people who I support. And even the Working Moms Academy is funded by me alone. So I need to continue this advocacy and, root it from love. So the outcome will be good. So to heal yourself, I think that's my first simple tip. Always ask yourself, am I spending the money out of fear, or am I, spending it out of love? Because if it's always out of love, then the fruits of it will always be good. So let's hear it from Dottie. What is your healing tip for money management?
Actually, yeah, first actually it's almost the same as you, because we have a same background, we had the same story as a breadwinner. So for me it was the same. I was I to In order for me to heal, I identified the purpose of my earnings. So before, I used to just be afraid of having no money again, because I've been there. I've experienced that. So it was the root for me. But then I started having a stronger relationship with the Lord. So I started having purpose in every spending, in every earning also. So I started believing and I started trusting that provision will always be given. But at the same time, even if I know I trust Him, I trust that God, that provision will always be given to me. At the same time, I have to be a good steward of what He is providing to me, and I have to share it, and I don't need to save it for myself alone. I have to pay it forward. That's why I'm doing this advocacy as well. That's why I'm doing financial literacy, spreading financial literacy to everyone I know. I've always been talking about saving. I've always been talking about making your money work for you, because it's what happened to me. So I know that it is my duty, and it's my mission from God to share it to everyone, that God gives you, provides for you, if you do your fair share as well. If you do your fair share of sharing to those in need, and also to pay forward what He has given and give it back to Him as well. So, for example, I do my tithes. I became really religious in paying my tithes. It's a blessing to me. If I also believe that if you spend correctly and with the right purpose, it will be given to you threefolds, for fourfolds. It will be given back. So that was the main root of the time when I started healing on my spending, and really stabilizing my spending habits, my earnings, and just provisions came. Just I continue to believe and spread it, and share it to everyone I know until now. So that's my testimony in terms of finances.
That's very good, Dottie. Thanks for sharing. I never before, I just challenged myself this concept of tithing because I was thinking, why do I need to tithe, right? But I also learned that it is like, if you're tithing, you're emptying your cup so that you
Yeah.
have to
So that
receive
you have
more. And
more. Correct.
yes,
Correct.
and I also learned that God is always generous by your efforts. So, and if you do give, you don't, and a lot of questions like, where do I give? I think you give your money to where you believe to. If you want to support the education of the other people, if you want to give to a charity, if you want to give to a church, and it doesn't have to be money also. It could be your time. If you don't have money now, give your time because the Lord is always generous in terms of paying back in and always providing for you. And I think last year was very difficult for a lot of people. I mean, I did have my salary cuts. A lot of people lost their jobs. But I think if you anchor yourself believing that your money doesn't come from your company alone, but that's always only a channel. But the money that you have now and the money that's yet to come is from God. And there will just be channels of where it will come from. Then you will have comfort knowing that your needs will always be taken care of. So that's my learning there. So let's hear it from you, Margaret.
I mean, you all both have summarized it so well because those are all the points that I totally and committedly, I totally stand on myself. Most importantly, again, the same thing about being that good steward, being a good manager. And before all that, the way you heal yourself is also this, is not only forgive others, but you forgive yourself as well for all those past things that have happened, those wrong decisions that you've made about finances. Let that not boggle you down because you're never judged for what happened in the past. God doesn't hold that against you. He never sees he doesn't see your past to give you your future. So remember that are starting on a fresh page, and you are equipped with everything as an individual. Everything is within you. So it's all about now just following those guidelines. And those guidelines are very simple. It is all about as you all guys broke it down, be that good steward. Remember that the money is not yours, it's God's. So you operate from that abundant mindset. Give when you have to give because and gratitude, it's so important to thank. Be thankful for what you have, be grateful for what is there in your life, and start your day with that feeling, with that feeling of gratitude. And I think another way to also be rooted is on is on when you actually meditate on biblical affirmations or whichever affirmations that work for you depending on on what you stand for. But for me it's been biblical affirmations where I actually say that aloud, where I know that God is my source and he provides for all my needs according to his riches and glory. So I things so at times like those, when when you are feeling down and lonely and you're feeling like, oh, I don't think I can get through this big mountain that's in front of me. These are the small things which seem small, but they're so powerful because that's what goes and hits into that mountain and brings it down by your regular affirmations, saying that by being grateful. So gratitude and standing on those promises, repeating that because there's power in your words, and really keep holding your trust on who's your source and being anchored in that truth. You can never go wrong in life, and blessings will chase you and will overcome you. And you are actually in this world for a purpose. So you've got to live your purpose. Everything else is provided for you if you can concentrate on knowing what's your assignment for your life. Do your assignment and be a blessing to others.
Wow, that's very well said. I remember forgiveness is actually really a very powerful exercise. That's very true. I think that's the one thing that is blocking a lot of people also in terms of their, struggle with money. You keep on blaming yourself for the things you
Yeah.
did wrong. That stops you from moving forward. So today, if you haven't done it, forgive yourself. You can just do a mirror exercise as they call it. Go to the mirror and say your name. So for me, I'll say, Wanda, I forgive you for spending so much on blah blah, or I just forgive yourself because it gives you peace. And also gratitude is another powerful tool. Thank you for reminding me that. I think, as they said, the happiest people don't have everything. They're just happy in the smallest of things. And if you are grateful with one thing, same with this is the law of attraction that's working with money. If you're grateful with the small money that you have, it will grow big. And that's very simple because you will attract the right emotions, the right people to really help you, earn more income and really achieve that financial status that you always wanted. So that's a beautiful, beautiful sharing. Thank you for that. I also learned one thing which reminded me. There's something called arigato your money. Have you heard of that principle? I
What?
think it was last, arigato your money. So I
Mhm.
learned it from Ken Honda. He's one of the teachers of Mind Valley. He said, when you're spending something, sometimes you feel bad, right, that you spent. But for you to feel better, when you have the receipt of whatever you spend, you write at the back of the receipt and say, thank you for the
Thank
money that I spent here. And I know this money will return to me in many ways. So, thank you for the coffee. Thank you for, thank everything that you used your money for because that opens the door to more abundance. So it's very simple. So when you pay to the cashier, in your mind say thank you, I have money to pay this grocery. Thank you, I have money to pay for the house and whatever needs I have. So gratitude, forgiveness is very hard. Thank you very much, Dottie and Margaret. We're almost in the end of this live webinar. I hope you're learning a lot if you're watching this on live or on replay. First, I want to thank you. This is all about how to stop struggling with money. And we spoke about how, knowing your relationship with money, knowing your habits, spending habits, and healing yourself can help you stop struggling with money. And I would like to invite those of you who are watching us today and who will watch us on replay, please join us next week. Another interest topic is mindful parenting. How can you, parent kids, toddlers, and teenagers on this digital age? And also, of course, I want to invite those people. For those of you who need some programs, we also have 100 plus corporate programs we're offering in Working Moms Academy to support organizations because we have tied up with American Management Association, 90 plus year old company who's a world leader in professional development. And lastly, we are now opening our coaching group for mothers. Yes, I never committed to group coaching before because I know the energy required. But I think, a lot of women are like, Wanda, I'm learning, but I still need some help. And I think coaching is the best way. So I'm doing a group coaching. If you want to learn more about that, I will share the link here. But again, I would like to thank Margaret and Dottie. Dottie, can you just please invite those people if they want to get in touch with you? What's the best way to connect with you?
Hi. So okay, I actually have a Facebook page. It's called Finlit Nanay. I will paste also. I will share the link here as well. So you can follow my page and then message me for any assistance you might need in your financial goals, setting up your financial goals. I can help get you out of debt or just heal you from your relationship with your money and improve your money relationship. And moving forward, you'll be able to be guided in how to handle money and stop having your money handle you. So you may reach me there. And then thank you again, Wanda, for having me here. And I also learned a lot from you, Margaret. So thank you. And it's
Thank
really
you.
wonderful to have, it's moms helping moms because who understands us better than our co-moms, right? Who are struggling the same struggles as we do. So it's really nice to have groups like this as your support group, to be able to know that you're not alone in experiencing these ups and downs in your life. So let's celebrate moms, and moms helping moms all over Asia, all over the world. So thank you again, Wanda. This is a great advocacy that you have.
Thank you, Dottie. This is actually why what Working Moms Academy is for. I learned that, being a mom is very difficult. First, I was never thought about money management. I never learned about parenting. I never knew how to manage a life, a family, and a career. And I was like, if I want to change the life of my daughters and generations to come, I think mothers are the best ways to help because they are the child of their parents. They are the mothers to their children and the partners to the husband, and they have a lot of friends. So I really appreciate and thank you for saying yes to this, because I know, your sharing today cannot only be helpful now, but it will always be a timeless wisdom that when people hear it, they will understand that, oh, if somebody told me, I could have correct my finances and stop struggling with that. Thank you, Dottie. How about you, Margaret? Can you just share something about how can they connect with you and any programs that you have?
Sure. I mean, I'm happy to serve you all guys by coming on my website. Come to my website and book in a free consultation with me. My website is margaretmekaat.com. And Wanda, is it possible for you to put it onto the chat, or do you want me to
Yes,
type
yes,
it?
of course. Let me just Google it and then I'll find it.
Yeah, so it's margaretmekaat.com. So please do come and download. Even there are some wonderful resources out there, checklists, and some blogs on topics that would help you guys on your journey. And most happy to serve you. So yes, do get in touch with me. And thank you so much, Wanda, for having me on this. It's been really truly inspirational, and it's we all learn from each other. So thank you to both of you for all your sharings, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. Thank you
God
again.
bless.
We would like to thank everyone for watching us. Go to Margaret's website. I put it here already. I go to connect with Dottie because they are the best persons who can help you financially. If you do need coaching in life, finances, and everything in between, I hope the group coaching program that Working Moms Academy is starting this April can help you. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank
Dottie,
you.
Margaret. Have a great
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for
Thanks.
watching us.